Do we have the Meghan McCain clip?
Yes, we do.
Why did I find myself agreeing with Meghan McCain?
All right, finally.
Why? What's happening with the world today?
So this is what I'm saying. I fundamentally have a visceral reaction to Meghan McCain. She not only makes my teeth itch, just looking at her on The View, I can't watch The View because she's
like
on
the
it.
actual intellectuals like Sunny
Yeah,
Hostin.
she doesn't deserve to be there. This is what I'm saying. Like, everyone doesn't get to be in the conversation. Yeah. Nor should they. You have to earn the right to have a conversation with a school teacher, a lawyer, somebody that has 50 years in the business and knows some things. And your claim to fame cannot be my daddy was John McCain, and that gives you enough really to sit at that table. So they're canceled. But a clip ran across my timeline, and I want to play it because again, it goes to disagreeing and how we disagree and how we arrive. If people make a good point, you got to give them a good point.
That's right.
And we got to learn how to do that.
That's right.
And not, all right, play it.
There was a woman who was having trouble finding a nanny for her child, and he said, it's a blanking baby. It doesn't know the difference between you and anyone else. All you need is some black who doesn't even have to speak English to rescue it from a burning building.
You know, all I have to say...
But I'm just saying, you want to go up against Trump and you want to take the moral high ground, Democrats? I don't know if this guy is going to be the one.
All I have to say, there are very fine people on both sides. That was in Charlottesville. Yeah. He said that removing Confederate monuments was trying to take away our culture.
But you want to take the moral high ground.
Belittled the Black Lives Movement. He questioned whether Barack Obama
I'm not defending Trump because I'm attacking Bloomberg.
What are you saying then? Who are you going to vote for?
I'm saying that you're shiny, sparkly guy who's surging right now, which, by the way, everybody surges in primary politics.
Well, yeah,
I remember when Gingrich did and Herman Cain did. Every candidate surges at one point or another.
He still thinks the Central Park Five
because
is
he's
guilty.
A sparkly little. Because you know what? I just think it's so interesting that you have a problem that we are talking about a candidate the way we would any other candidate. He just happens to be at the top getting the attention right now, which is why we're talking about it right now. What? I'm supposed to give Bloomberg a pass?
Come on, Meghan McCain. Why do I have to say that? But like she was
like
correct.
Like, I was like, Joy, stop.
Yes, like sometimes just say, you know what? You're right. That's a good point. Bloomberg is responsible not just for stop and frisk, furthering it, systematizing it, glorifying it, defending it up until last year when he decided he was going to run. But he was surrounded by intellectuals, black activists of color across the entire spectrum who outlined for him the problems. New York City Lawyers Association, Night Clue, the data, the statistics. He had facts, he had information, and he was committed to a racist policy that jailed black people, arrested black people, stop and frisk black people. I had 32 students, Bushwick 32 students who were on their way to a funeral, had permission from their principals, had letters from their parents, accosted by the cops, held for 36 hours, had to go to trial, had to get in. My husband is beat up in court by court officers at their defense trial because the way in which police and court officers were militarized against black and brown communities. And you expect us to just eat that he's got money, so he's going to be the best candidate? Gentrification, Bedford-Stuyvesant, Crown Heights, East New York, Flatbush, Harlem, the Bronx, black people driven out of this city under policies that favored wealthy white people and developers. We cannot even sustain our communities right now. Education, he undermined the ability for us to have culturally competent education. You want me to say because he can beat Trump, so he's gonna do what he do, Bloomberg gonna do what he do, and yeah, he might win, but guess what? All y'all getting arrested, all y'all getting stopped and frisked. If he implements the same policies across the country that he furthered and supported in the state of New York, give me a break. We can do better than this. And I'm sorry I got to agree with Meghan McCain, but now I'm upset. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. That was... Like, we got to be more sophisticated than this.
Right,
we got to be like,
if he's the nominee, are you going to vote for him?
I don't think he should be the nominee.
If he's the nominee, because that's a strong possibility.
If he's the nominee, knowing and having said everything that I just said, because I'm aware about how the politics and the system in this country works, yes, I will have to vote for him, and I will vote for him angrily. I will vote for him and ensure that I am doing every single thing that I can to make sure that the black and brown community is organized and that we will hold him accountable, and not some fake hold him accountable like people said, if Trump gets out of line, there'll be adults in the room and we'll be able to hold him accountable. No, hold him accountable. I want to make sure we have the Senate. I want to make sure we are doing everything that we can and pulling every single lever that we can, because he cannot be allowed to rule the way he ruled in the city of New York.
Okay. Now, I don't completely agree with you.
Yes.
Because I don't have all of the knowledge that you have, right? And this is the thing about having disagreement. A lot of times people disagree just because they just have in my feelings.
Yeah.
I don't agree with you.
Yeah.
You laid out a case. I can't argue with it. Legally, you got receipts, all of that. And everything that you said was factual. So I can't disagree with you.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is strategically.
Yes.
Because if he's the nominee, which is a strong possibility depending on what happens tonight, because I think if he has a moderately good debate, if he's able
not
to
the best of debaters.
He's not.
Yeah.
He's not charismatic, he's not charming. There's nothing about him that's attractive.
Right.
Except his wallet.
Yeah. And let's talk about that wallet, because there's a whole lot of people right now making endorsements, unnecessary endorsements. What did you get?
Well, here's the thing. Again, we're operating from knowledge right now.
Yeah.
Please don't call with opinions off your dingleberries. have some understanding of what it is that you are advocating for, disagreeing with.
Right.
Have it rooted in something that's factual. I'm going to give you some facts right now.
Yeah.
Bloomberg was responsible for a lot of black mayors sitting in their seat right now, which is true. Why we had Miriam Bowser on Monday, and Stockton in California, who does the basic income. He literally funded black mayors being elected. So
women candidates.
Okay, women candidates in was it 2018? He put $100 million into making sure that the House was solidified, and out of that, 15 women owe their candidacy, owe their seat to Bloomberg.
That's right.
So you asked the question about what do they get for it? They got something for it.
Right.
So
now here's what I want. I want more than you getting a position. Like, that is good because we need those votes. We need to have gun control, and he has been very good at supporting and sponsoring.
Put his money behind it.
That's right. Put your money behind repairing what you broke.
He has $700 million in a Operation Greenwood, which is seeking to put 1 million black folks into home ownership and build black businesses, and also, put money into education in black communities, right? Based on him just discovering Tulsa.
Yeah.
Similar to Damon Lindelof discovering Tulsa through Ta-Nehisi Coates and coming up with the magical Watchmen. I believe that when you know better, you do better. In my experience with Bloomberg, because I was on the other side as a journalist.
Right. Oh,
watching him, right? It's 70 billion. I said 700 is one less zero, but 70 billion is a lot.
It's more billions than I have.
Girl, bye. But sitting on the other side, he's sat before our editorial board. We've grilled him with questions and all of these things. And at the time, and you're absolutely right about stop and frisk. It was a very troublesome thing, which is what actually elected de Blasio.
That's
he
right.
brought out his black Afro having child and said, I'm going to end this program.
Yes, he did.
That said.
And it should be noted, while the program did drastically reduce the numbers, the racial disparities are still there.
Still there.
So it was 85% of the 500,000 a year that was getting stopped now. It's still 85% of the 20-some-odd thousand that's getting stopped
because
today.
Racism is systemic.
There we go.
It's not in the person. That's why I said yesterday, Bloomberg's a racist. You can't convince me otherwise.
Yeah.
How could he not be at his age in this country to not see black people in a certain way? And especially as his wallet got bigger and bigger, everyone's going to be kissing his ass. Yep. Everybody's going to be kowtowing to him. Nobody's going to be able to tell him the truth unless it's Dick Parsons. But anyway, at that point, Dick Parsons is a white man. So is Oprah. And, it's like there are levels to this, right? If you're on my social economic status, I don't see you as black. You're a special magical Negro, and I see you as a white man.
Right, and you're different from all the rest.
You're different. Yeah. You've arisen to this, I'm sure Robert Smith III doesn't get treated like we do.
Right. Unless
That's it.
Hermes and they don't recognize.
They don't know you. Right. But the point I'm making is, if we're assessing candidates, and I said this on the air too, besides Obama, we've always elected racists.
Absolutely.
We've always voted.
Absolutely.
We had no problem going to the polls to vote for the racist Clinton.
Yep.
The racist, and I put Jimmy Carter in, and people were like, I was like, okay, maybe I'll give Carter a pass. Maybe.
Yeah.
If you voted for Reagan, if you voted for Bush, Lyndon Baines Johnson
was
a racist.
Come on.
Kennedy. So we can have this conversation. But I
we
want us
have
to have
be
it
sophisticated.
Yes, that's what I'm
we
saying.
We have to have
like,
it in a sophisticated manner. So, and I think it's important for us to be able to, one, know who we're dealing with, and two, what do we extract as a result of our vote? Let us not vote on credit. Because as you said, there is not a single person, say Barack Obama and his lovely wife, Michelle, who we could argue was not going to do the same types of things, although, again.
And yet they did.
Yes, because y'all didn't have that conversation on Monday, but I was ready for it, and I was hoping for it.
No, we had it off mic, too.
Okay. So
but
I think
he
we
made
have to, he did what he was able to do in the time that he had to do it. Thank you, Dr. Carr. But I do think we have to be sophisticated so we can know all of these things, and we can have our pros, our cons, our neutrals, and we can look at the list, and then we can say our vote is worth X. What are you going to give us in exchange for the vote?
No, not what are you going to give. Here's what you're going to give us.
I like that even better. I like that frame.
Stop asking
what, because here's our agenda.
You said this.
That's right.
You can't depend on a racist to come up with some good points.
You're right. Here is our agenda. Here are the things that we demand. Here's what you must provide so that we are able to confidently say we're going to vote for you in spite of what we know, in spite of your past
history. This is business. Let's even take apart the $70 billion you're putting into the Greenwood Initiative. Yeah. We need $30 more billion, and here's what else it needs to have.
If you're starting at 70, we know you got more.
You got
more.
That
couldn't be your best offer.
This is business.
Right.
We need more.
Sophisticated electoral engagement.
That's all. I'm tired of hearing people talk about, oh, you hate this one or you hate. No, I'm looking at the world that we live in.
We don't have the luxury of
and
being
I'm
emotional.
saying, how do we move from point A to point B? I don't want to have this conversation 50 years from now.
Right. We don't have the luxury of being emotional. Like I was saying at some presentation I'd done about the census. The voting booth, the census, this is not the place to have a wishy-washy conversation about, oh, see me for who I really am. No, this is for cold, calculated, sophisticated, emotionless dollars and cents, numbers, A plus B equals C, clear-eyed about what we're getting into. Mm-hmm. But that's what we have to know. I know a lot of Black people outside of New York do not know the history of Bloomberg. They must know that history.
They do.
So that when he comes to your church and pretends to kiss your babies and writes a donation check to your pastor, you are able to extract and say, no, in exchange for this, here's the list, and you just slide it across the table. You know how, like, rich people, they just slide the number across the table.
Right.
Just slide it across the table and wait and say, that is what we need. These are the things that we want. And we're framing it this way because we saw the harm that you already inflicted.
Let's go back to the conversation we started the show off with the Woo and Pop Smoke. Who's delivering the message? So, again, I was woefully aware, talking with Dr. Carr, that we have no leadership. What Carr was saying about Obama speaks to a lack of leadership.
Yes.
Because to have the first Black president, not in one term, but two, and all we have to show for it is nothing.
Right.
Speaks to a lack of leadership.
Particularly considering many folks were forced to hold their tongue. No, you can't do that now. He's got to get reelected.
And I'm not talking about Tavis Smiley and Cornell.
No,
was something else.
Forget that. Put that to the side.
Right.
There were many people who had valid critiques and criticisms who were told not now.
Who was telling them no? And that's the other question, right? So, again, and we don't need a charismatic leader.
No, we need
coalitions.
Leadership. Yes.
We need a system that's like racism.
Yeah.
But not racism.
Blackism? Africanism?
Wakandanisms.
Yeah.
All right. Let's not do that.
Whether or not it's on the debit card.
Yeah. Not in the form of Harriet Tubman. Shape of a bear. Form of a Harriet Tubman. All right. Tonight is the debates. I know a lot of y'all are, praying to baby Jesus, Buddha, to no one, that Bloomberg gets eviscerated and then he can go away.
And then continue to fund the leadership the elected.
I'm going to tell you something, too. Because, again, we need to talk from knowledge. You just broke down knowledge. You laid it out. Bloomberg was committed. I remember this. $1 billion to get rid of Trump.
Yeah.
He was going to commit. As a candidate, he gets to spend $2 billion because of matching. Possibly, he's only in this race. Now, power gets good to people.
It does.
And he is that dude.
Yeah.
But I know that his first foray into this was to double his money, to be able to put more money into Senate races, more money into candidates. And he's already said, I'm funding any candidate that comes out of this because he wasn't really running to win. Neither was Trump, by the way. So let me just offer that up. Trump was not running to be president. He was running to get money to fund his hotel in his media company because he and Roger Ailes and Steve Bannon were going to form the next Fox that was going to be outfoxing Fox.
Yep.
That was the play. He ran for president to get money and to have a platform to launch the next thing. And then y'all sat home. And now he's president. Thank you. Bloomberg's in similarly, history being an indicator of what could happen.
That's right.
He's probably going to be the nominee just because he's not really running to be president.
It could happen.
So let's be mindful. I'm moving in a way, and I'm being very transparent, which I am. I'm hedging my bets like I do with God. Mm-hmm. I don't know if there's a hell, but I'm going to rock this out because the alternative is if there is a hell,
God forbid I should be wrong.
Yes, right. I don't want to be wrong. So, because we need to have some things, y'all. We need to get some things. So,
I need for us to elevate our sophistication. I need for the brothers and sisters in Florida who just had the 11th Circuit confirm for them that Amendment 4 must pass and that they must be allowed to vote and that the state cannot impose a slave era poll tax and force them to pay fees and fines they cannot afford to vote. I need all 1.4 million of them people, because of what the race was lost by less than 100,000 votes. I need all 1.4 million of them people to get active in them streets, get registered and vote. I need everybody who sat home. And it was funny because sometimes I go through your comments on YouTube and I'm like, why do I go to comments? Why do I go to the comments?
Because you need to know.
Yeah, it's insightful. It is insightful.
But what you also need to know is this is more powerful than the comments, because most people do not comment. Only angry people comment. Mostly people who are passionate about something, they'll comment, whether it's good or bad. Yeah. But most of us are not that worked up about a thing to comment.
Right.
So
But I saw a couple of folks who are affiliated with a particular group who were like, well, what are we going to vote for if we can't get reparations? Or what's the point of voting? Here's why we vote. Because the vote is step maybe 13, 14, or 15 in a multi-step process to go from here is an issue in my community, here is the solution I want to see, here is the person I want to put in office who can get it done. I vote for that person to implement my solutions. I don't just vote on a hope, on a whim, on a prayer, and on credit. I don't vote on layaway plans. I vote on here is the solution I want, here's the person who says that they are most aligned with what I want, and I vote for them to be in office to get it. And then once I've got them into office, and I evaluate them, just like if I'm a boss, I got to evaluate my employees. I evaluate them to see, are you doing the thing that I put you in office to do? Because if you're not doing the thing that I put you in office to do, I got to put somebody else.
No, we're going to have a review, and I'm going to tell you you're fired.
And I'm going to come to your office. I'm going to give you your evaluation. I'm going to say, here's where you are failing, and this is not what we put you in office for. And if you do not do what we need you to do, we will put somebody else in office who is better suited to do this for you.